Well, good afternoon and welcome back to our coverage here from the IBSA World Games. There it is, the famous clock tower here at the University of Birmingham, which overlooks the set for what is set to be a fascinating encounter in the men's blind football Group C between France and Colombia. Two very animated sides have been warming up on the surface down here, and they are ready to come out for the national anthems in a moment's time after a few final instructions are sent their way. It's the first time we've seen France in the men's side of the competition. Colombia were emphatic winners over Spain earlier on in the week. Of course, Mali not involved in the competition, so France had a bye for their first game, which naturally goes through as a 6-goal victory. So they'll be looking to prove their worth in their first proper outing here in Birmingham, Edgbaston. Everybody's been in great spirits this morning as we concluded the group stages of the women's competition. We've had a really animated crowd, and Dixie Dean has been alongside me and will be alongside me for this game as well here in Birmingham this afternoon. The first of several fixtures today. Matt Isles will be joining Dixie a bit later on before we head over for the IBSA opening ceremony at Symphony Hall in Birmingham this evening as well. So really looking forward to that as the two teams enter the field here in Edgbaston, led by two willing volunteers for each nation, carrying the country flags for both France and Colombia. And we will pass over now to the Tannoy announcer to introduce the two national anthems.
Please rise if you are able for the national anthem. The national anthem of France. Please remain standing if you are able for the national anthem of Colombia.
Amen.
Oh, gloria inmarcesible, oh, júbilo inmortal, el surco de dolores, el bien germina ya, el bien germina ya. Oh, gloria inmarcesible, oh, júbilo inmortal, el surco de dolores, el bien germina ya. Cesó la horrible noche, la libertad sublime, derrama las auroras de su invencible luz, la humanidad entera entre cadenas libres comprende las palabras del que murió en la cruz. ¡Vamos, Colombia! ¡Vamos, Colombia! ¡Vamos!
Well, goodness me, a real atmosphere generated by the two sets of players for the national anthems. sung with such pride. Delighted to be here representing their nations on the big stage here at the World Games, ahead of the Paralympics, of course, in France next year. Right, let's take a look at the two teams that will go toe-to-toe today in this fixture. The first time we've seen France in this competition, and it's Colombia's second outing as well. Let's start with the home side, though. In goal for them, it's Alessandro Bartolomucci. And number 10 and captain today, Frederic Villarue. Number 7, Babacar Niang. Number 5, Hakim Areski. And number 4, Tidiane Diakite. And then on the substitute bench for them today, their replacement goalkeeper, Benoit Chevroux. Then Ivan Wanshi, Khalifa Yume, Martin Baron, and then Michael Miguez are the substitutes. Akpwe Toussaint is the head coach, and then Yannick Lecoulou is the guide today for France. As for this Colombia side, who, having not been here early on in the week, but catching up with the stream, looked very, very strong, and everybody's been full of praise for this Colombia side in their very flash-looking colour as well in their strip, which I'll describe in a couple of moments' time. But in goal for them is number 1, Johan Ardila, number 10, Juan Perez, number 9, Hion Gonzalez, number 7, Hion Hernandez, who is the captain today, and then number 2, Duvian Lopez. On the bench, their substitute goalkeeper, Hion Gomez, Coca Nicolas, Jesus Lopez, and then Alex Martinez make up the substitutions. Their head coach for this afternoon, Fernando Carrilla Ramirez, and their guide, the very big guide who we've just identified, Dixie, is Jonathan Ramirez. I mistook Jonathan there for a player and was fearful for France's chances given the size and the stature of their guide today. But what do you expect? We've obviously seen a snippet of the Colombian side already. What are you expecting from this French team today, Dixon?
Well, it's difficult really, because I said we haven't seen them because they had a walkover in the first game. But you know, they're hosting the Paralympics next year, so they'll want to put a good show on here, I would think, because it's probably one of their last tournaments before the Paralympics. So I know the captain, Federico, he's been playing, it's got to be 20 years. I think I can remember him, he made his debut for France in the European Championships in Manchester in 2003. He's a good player, quality, and he's kept going up through these years, so he's going to be there or thereabouts. I was particularly impressed with Colombia when they played Spain, and they were fantastic and really good value for their 3-0 that day. So, yeah, I'm hoping France will give them a really good game, and you know, we can all sit back and enjoy it.
Thank you, Dixie, alongside us today. An exchange of pendants there. The referee just having a final word with the captains as well. A mismatch of different, very colourful boots out on the pitch for this men's fixture. Not quite the same uniform boot colours that we saw in the women's game. But Colombia, though, bathed in colour, wearing their the colours of their flag, of course, across their top with the yellow, red and blue, white shorts which have a dash of red, yellow and blue on them, and then bright red socks as well. It's a kit that we've all been very jealous of, and we'd all like to pick up our own version of, if they're on sale anywhere, of course. That's a hint to the Colombian staff, or anybody involved with the Colombian side that might be able to maybe send a shirt our way.
It looks like they're being sponsored by Red Bull.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely. It looks it's quite incredible, actually. It's a wonderful, wonderful kit, and they're going to be the side that get us underway here. As for France, they're in white shirts or white jerseys with blue shorts and then white socks as well, and everybody just sort of skipping around on their toes at the moment ahead of this one. First chance, I'm sure France will be really excited to get their campaign underway. Colombia have had a taste so far. 3-0 victors over Spain. Of course, Mali make up the group, but Mali aren't here, so France got a 6-0 walkover in that first fixture. Spain will have the same today, which may kind of skews the table as things stand. But this will give us a real indication as to who are the real strong teams in this group. Can France keep things tight up against the Colombia side that I'm sure will be full of confidence? And
good news, everyone. The rain stopped.
The rain has stopped, which means, in fact, we've got a few more people in the stand for this fixture. Perhaps that's something to do with it. But great that we've got some dry weather to enjoy this game as well, rather than the sideways rain and wind that we've experienced so far this morning. There was a few fears of thunder and lightning as well here on the University of Birmingham Sports Campus pitches, but we seem to have dodged that, and it's just a bit of drizzle that we're having to contend with now as Colombia get things underway. And then number 10, Juan Perez, goes careering into a French player. Already setting off at quite the pace here. France in the attack though, and forcing an early stop from the goalkeeper. Could be an opening goal here. France really have come flying out the traps, and it's Villaroo, the captain, who you say, Dixie, has been around for a number of years, that has the ball at his feet, and he's grappling hard with the defenders on that far side in front of the kickboard, in front of the main stand, inside the attacking third, but it's swept away by a Colombia player, and now France have to do some defending themselves through Niang. He opts back and faces his goalkeeper, looks as though he might go for the back pass, but he sends it long up the pitch, and it will be a goal kick for Colombia, and an early chance for us to catch our breath.
Yeah, a great start by France, and as we identified before,
Colombia on the attack here. The goalkeeper threw it long upfield. It landed all the way in the D, up at the other end of the pitch, and there's complete tangling of legs in there as they tried to organise themselves to unleash the shot. Juan Gonzalez was the man closest to it, and now it's right back up the other end again. I think we'll have another goal kick.
We'll have another go at that as well. Yeah, as we identified, Frederick, he's a good player and very sharp on the ball.
Barely time for us to catch our breath in the opening exchanges of this game as Arezki brings the ball forward, and that will trickle out yet again for another Colombia goal kick or goal clearance. It's been end-to-end stuff so far. Much of the ball has been in the goalkeeper's arms and sort of launched from one end of the field down to the other, and now we will see another goal kick, this time for France. It took a slight deflection off one of the Colombia players on the far side in front of the main stand as that throw from the other end came out, and now it's back in French territory inside their defensive third. The pass forward though only meets a Colombia player. The first touch from that Colombian player, who was Gonzalez, was a bit heavy, and he is dispossessed, and now it's in the middle third again, and there's a bit of a tangling of legs between several players. Two of the French men in Villaroo and Niang collide in the middle of the park, and it gives possession back to Colombia, who will now attack with a bit of close control in the middle of the field. Lopez with the ball at his feet, he pokes it through to Juan Perez, who advances into the attacking third. The referee blows his whistle. He's not happy with something there.
Yeah,
I think
there's a head guard come off, face mask come off, so off one of the French players. So you'll put that back on, and it'll be an uncontested drop ball to France, because France were in possession of the ball when he blew the whistle. So we'll restart like that.
It will be Villaroo, I think, who will get things back underway in his very bright pink boots. You can only wear those boots if you've been in the game for a long time, which it sounds like he has. He gets possession back from Niang, who actually got play restarted. And that's a really intelligent ball forward from Villaroo into a pocket of space which wasn't brought under control by Diakite, but it goes out for a Colombia goal kick. But it was good anticipation from Villaroo to sort of spot an opportunity out on the far side. Colombia on the attack this time. Number 10, Juan Perez, can't keep, or at least trouble the French goalkeeper, Bartolomucci, who immediately gets things back underway and throws it out to the right-hand side in front of the main stand, and there's a trip out there, and the referee has blown his whistle. I believe that will be a French free kick.
Yeah, that's correct. Bit of a trip by the Colombian players. The French lads going forward, and no injuries or anything, but referees brought it back and given a free kick. So that's number one up on the foul count. If you've been listening to us earlier part of the week, each team is allowed 4 direct fouls, direct free kick fouls. Any more than that, and it becomes an 8-metre penalty.
Free kick was sort of cleverly taken, an early touch from the French player, and then a shot was unleashed, but it didn't trouble the Colombian goalkeeper Ardia, who immediately throws the ball back into play. Juan Hernandez, pass forward, is miscued by Babacar Niang, and again it goes all the way through for a French goal kick, which Bartolomucci takes quickly and looks to thread Oretsky through on goal. His touch is heavy to bring it back inside. It enters the D, and then the goalkeeper scoops it up, who throws long and immediately looks for a Colombian player. Finds one in Gonzalez, who's through on goal here. He's taken down. And it looks like a free kick has been awarded right on the edge of the D. And a bit of an injury as well for Gonzalez to match.
Yeah, the French lad's taking him out there about a metre outside the penalty area. This is all a bit frantic at the moment. I don't know if the weather conditions are making the ball a bit skiddy, but it seems a bit frenetic, and hopefully it'll settle down and we'll get some possession-based football. But all a bit frantic, but good position for the Colombians. They're a metre outside the 6-yard box, fairly central. So the wall's going to have to go back right into the goalkeeper's area.
Well, there's 3 players that seem to fancy their chances from this free kick. Lopez has sort of drifted back. That's either an incredibly long run-up or he's relinquished responsibility to Perez on the edge of the D. Could also be Gonzalez, who is over this one. Who's wearing small sort of gloves on his hands, whether that's something to do with the conditions or something else, I'm not sure. But there's a bit of a gap to the left-hand side of the wall, as if you're a French player looking out from that right-hand side of the pitch. The goalkeeper, Bartolomucci, is just arranging the wall. The nearest to us is Villeroy in there, but it's really such a short distance away from goal. It's going to be struck powerfully, no doubt, and Bartolomucci will have to be on top form here, as if he's to keep this at bay. The guide behind the goal is just doing his bit to support the strikers out there. It looks as though it will be Perez to strike this one. Gonzalez is there as well. It is Gonzalez that takes it on. He finds the back of the net. Wild celebrations from the Colombians. It's Gonzalez that opens the scoring. Hugs all round for the Colombians. So passionate in their celebrations. It wasn't too much that Bartolomucci could do about that. He jumped down to his right-hand side and sort of parried it into the side of the net. But it was struck so powerfully from such a short distance out. That little routine that they had there, Dixie, seemed to work really effectively.
Yeah, it was a great strike by him. What's happened is he's been played through and he's taken it slightly to the right to open up the angle. And he's powered it round the back of the wall. And the keeper's got no chance. He's really rifled that into the corner. Great strike with his right foot. There you go. He's broken round the wall and smashed it into that corner. And as I say, the keeper's got no hope.
It was a 4-man wall, and I think Villeroy was caught in 2 minds as to whether to follow the player who, as you say, Dixie, had sort of moved right, and then he left a gap in the wall, which Gonzalez then just penetrates with a really powerful drive. And we have our first goal of the day across the 2 categories. It's come in the men's game, and that was a big collision there as we get things back underway in the attacking third for France. And
he's going to have to stop this. That's a head injury.
That was a head injury there. Devian Lopez is the man on the floor in the attacking third, and I think Villeroy is acknowledging there that it was a bit of a nasty collision between him and the player. The player's gone down, Lopez, directly in front, really, of the Colombian goal inside his defensive third. But he's back on his feet, which is good to see.
Yeah. It was a complete accident. Villeroy had there was no intent there at all. These guys, they run round at full pace on this pitch, and you've got 8 blind people in a very confined space, and they're running very, very quickly, and occasionally they will bump into each other. When they've got the ball, it's not so bad because they can hear the ball and they know which way they're coming. But if they haven't got the ball, and that's a bit of fair play by Colombia, they just kicked the ball out and given it back to France.
Yeah, they kicked it right down the other end of the field. It went out through a goal kick, which was then taken quickly by Bartolomucci. Found Villeroy, who is dispossessed, and now Colombia are on the attack again, out on that left-hand side, right up against the kickboard. Bit of confusion between Villeroy and Diakite. as to who is going to take possession on there. Diakite eventually comes away with it. There's a bit of grappling between him and Gonzalez. Colombia back in possession now, and a few players struggling with bumps and bruises out there as Lopez comes forward again. Diakite, and possession is just swinging back and forth between the two sides. Gonzalez, the goal scorer, is in the middle of the park now. He's sent back towards his own goal. He needs support from some players around him. He's under pressure from Niang. Right back on the goal line now in the Colombian half, and it's gone out. I think that will be a corner. It will be.
Yeah, that's a corner to France. It's a good response by France here. They've sort of moved back up the pitch, and they just need to settle down a little bit and don't get involved in a battle, really. Start playing their football.
Jean Gonzalez and Lopez are being organised by Adia in the Colombian goal alongside Hernandez. They make up a three-person wall, and then just tucked on the edge of the box is Perez, just keeping Villeroy at bay on the edge of the D. Taken short, the corner, lovely piece of skill out on that right hand side, and a driven shot evades everybody, and the goal was a really tight angle. The shot was taken from near-ish the corner point, and just whistled past the post of the goalkeeper, and then the goal kick is taken quickly and lands straight back into French hands with Niang, who shoots from range, and we go back out for another Colombian goal kick. And this game is being played at such pace, and it really is end-to-end stuff. The Colombian goal kick is taken quickly, well controlled inside the French D, inside their own half. It's snuck all the way through to the number 10, Juan Perez, who checks back inside and looks to maybe line up a shot on his left foot. He's in the middle of the park now. He's got the whole goal in front of him, but there's French bodies that are being put on the line, doing everything they can to get in the way of the ball. Jean Hernandez keeps it alive though. We're out now by in front of the main stand, tucked inside the French half, and Colombia advance, but a bit of poor control out there, and it just rolls out for a French goal kick. Rolled out fairly quickly though by Bartolomucci. Arezki in possession. Here's a cry from this left-hand side, a slip from a Colombian player, gifts possession back to the French. Here's Villeroy, and he just squirms his way through a gap, but he's put under pressure by Jean Hernandez on this near side in front of the technical area. Well scooped back up though by Jean Hernandez. It alleviates some pressure on that Colombian defence and finds his goalkeeper. The goalkeeper immediately finds Juan Perez, who's now inside the French half, into the attacking third, but he's intercepted by Arezki. Arezki twists, turns and faces his own goal and just plays a bit of a hospital pass straight across in front of it, and it gives possession straight back to Colombia, who keep the ball from going out of play for a goal kick. Still with Gonzalez now. Gonzalez has the opportunity, falls kindly for a Colombian player and ends up almost nutmegging the number 10, Juan Perez. He had a full go at goal there, but the ball just trickled between his legs, just took him slightly off guard as it squirmed through a few French players.
Yeah, it's come across the box really quickly, the Colombian lad at the back, and he's tried to hit it first time, and you know, people will tell you in the blind world it's a really difficult skill to do that, to hit a ball first time, and he's had a massive air shot at it, and he's chucked his leg up so far up in the air, he's spun round and fallen on the floor, but we're on the way again.
Here come the French, number 7, Babacar Niang, who's looked a real menace down that right-hand side, tucked up against the kickboard, shoots from range, and actually forces quite a remarkable save from Johan Ardila. He was out the right-hand side there, Babacar Niang, and he just orchestrated some space on his right foot, shot along the floor, and then Ardila had to put out an acrobatic save down low to his left-hand side on a narrow angle and just put it round the post for a corner. Yeah,
it was a great shot. He was 14-15 metres out, I would have said, and he's smacked it really low and hard into the front near post, and the Colombian keeper's done well. He's got down by that post, and good firm hand around the corner, and we got a corner to France.
He was on the stretch there, Niang, but did really, really well to keep that ball low and hit at pace. Corner taken quickly, a short corner again, and French just try to squeeze a way through. Real opportunity here for Arezki. he can't quite find a shot to put the goalkeeper under pressure. It squirms all the way back into the defensive third for the French, and Villeroy now will look to build from the back, but he's in a bit of a dangerous position because he's got two Colombian players in front of him. Opts for the pass across field, but it's only intercepted by Juan Perez. The French, though, win it back in the middle of the park through the number 7, Babacar Niang. He moves into the attacking third towards that Colombian goal, but he's backed into a corner by these really colourful Colombian shirts that are on show today, and we're all very jealous of in the production team. The Colombians win it back though and move over the halfway line, only to find and be met by the big frame of Hakim Arezki, and the French hold firm only for the time being. Here comes Villeroy, moves out of his defensive third and is cynically tripped, and the French will have a free kick. And the referee, a bit of a talking to as well to one of the Colombian players there.
Yeah, I think the referee's from South America as well, so he's had a bit of a word there. Yeah, you're quite right, Toby. That was cynical, and he knew that the French lad was getting away from him, so he's just brought him down. Obviously there was no intent to injure him, it was only a little trip, but it was effective. It stopped the play.
Free kick is taken and powerfully struck out to the left-hand side. They were out to the right, came straight off the kickboard and straight out for a goal clearance for the Colombians, and it's sent straight upfield towards the number 10, Juan Perez, and he's sort of bundled to the ground inside the French D. No decision given by the referee, and we're allowed to play on. And we will do that at pace through Villeroy. Still going here, Villeroy, but he's tackled in the end by Jon Hernandez. We're just waiting to see whether that's a corner or a goal kick.
Yeah, he's given a corner, and he's obviously got a deflection off the Colombian lad. That was quite a battle we just had up the other end. The Colombian went through, then 3 French defenders descended upon him, and there was just nowhere to go. So he hit the ground.
It's definitely warming up, because I'm warming up in here, and it's a feisty affair on the pitch. Much drier weather. Ponchos have disappeared, the umbrellas are down, the referee's hair's intact. Everybody's happy for a bit of warmth as the Colombians come away. That corner came to nothing for the French. They were tucked right down on that far right-hand side by the main stand here, which, as I say, goes about 10-15 rows back, and there's a sort of cluster of fans in the crowd there as Villeroy is trying to treat them to some magic here. Goes all the way through and almost slides and pokes it past the goalkeeper. That was a really mazy run from him, and he didn't give up either. He just tried to slide, swipe an attempt on goal inside the D. Now it's the Colombians that come again, but that has trickled out for a goal kick for the French.
It was a fantastic run by Villeroy. He's picked the ball up in his own third, and he's gone through the entire Colombian team in onto the goalkeeper. He's just run away from him a little bit towards the end there, and he's tried to slide in on it, and he's gone through to the keeper.
My neck is starting to ache because this game is going from side to side, and we're having to watch it so intently to not miss any of the action here as Babacar Niang looks to bring the ball away, but he's faced off and sent back towards his own goalkeeper, so he has to adapt slightly and swings the ball from right to left and finds his colleague out on this near side, who's quickly faced up by Juan Perez.
Got a shoe come off. It's all falling off here anyway. Eye masks, trainers. It's a Colombian boot that's just come off, just as he was about to run in on the French goal. So I think the referee will start with the drop ball to the French goalkeeper. Really
displays the physicality of this game, and I guess how seriously these players are competing, and the kind of performance they want to put on really for their country as well. You know, this is no afternoon out, is it? They're here to play some proper sport here and really show what they're made of.
Yeah, if you haven't seen blind football, and especially at this level, the pace, Toby, I don't think you'd seen it before, had you? The pace of it is just unbelievable. You get back to your living room tonight, put a blindfold on and run around your living room. This is what these guys are doing, and they're incredible. They really are incredible athletes.
Really forceful clearance there from the goalkeeper, intercepted only initially. Chance for the French, but it's again just run away from the attacker, who that time was Babacar Niang, just as he was about to shoot.
We've got a timeout to Colombia.
Wow, well, not even 10 minutes yet. Colombians are taking a timeout, and it's been a frenetic game so far. They wander across to this near side, and the coaching staff, their jackets are equally as flamboyant. So we'll see that goal again, which came from the free kick, and a really nicely taken free kick. Not too much the goal. Well, the goalkeeper managed to get their far right hand to it, but it was hit with such pace that he could do very little else. And Gonzalez went away celebrating, straight over to the coaching staff, so the whole team can share that moment together.
I don't know if you noticed that, Toby, but the guide went on and to hug him, and I can assure you, you get hugged by that guide and you stay hugged. He's huge.
He must be about 6'6", I think. Yeah, he's the same height as the goal, put it that way. We're seeing a few more skills from some of the French players who've had their chances themselves, and will be maybe a bit aggrieved that they've not managed to find the back of the net as the referee calls for the end of the timeout. But it takes real bravery to play this game at such a pace as well, Dixon.
It does. They are brave. I've worked with blind people for 25 years, and it never ceases to amaze me how they do it. I've tried playing, and within 30 seconds I'm totally lost. It takes incredible amount of concentration.
Here are the Colombians just waiting for their moment. They're right on the edge there of their own defensive third, and it was sort of looped forward by Hernandez, which maybe took the goal scorer by surprise. It's been misplaced, and a chance for Niang, and actually that's a fine stop, but it's not over. The danger hasn't passed. He's still swiping at the ball there, Niang. The goalkeeper just got a finger to that, Ardea, and that was a vital, vital touch. And it was looking comfortable for the Colombians for a moment, but they were just hesitant at the back, and Babacar Niang capitalised and forced a decent save. Here come the Colombians again, but Villeroy has other ideas. He swivels on the spot on the edge of his D and just pokes it through, looking for a runner to his right-hand side. He was right in the middle of the park there, but didn't have options either side. It's straight back to Colombia, who then lose possession themselves, and it's fired back into the path of Orezki, who will now look to build from the back, unopposed, but his pass, well, wrong for it's two Colombian players that slip and almost finds Villeroy, but it's just flown all the way through to the goalkeeper Ardea, who throws the ball long, looking for the number 10, Juan Perez, who's backed into a space down there by the kickboard and ends up back with the French goalkeeper, who's already been beaten once, and that's a bit of a sloppy touch, and will be a corner now for the French. And it really is, it's hard to sometimes explain what's going on, because it literally is the goalkeeper's throwing from one end to the other and can miss in some circumstances, others, and find its way towards goal.
Everything happens so quickly that to try and relay it to the folks at home how fast this game is virtually impossible. You'd be talking like, I don't know, like a machine gun. But it seems to me that the French are relying on the long ball from the keeper, hoping to pick someone up in the top end goal there, and they've done it 3 or 4 times now. They launch it forward, and they'll stop one and they'll get a shot away, and potentially got a goal.
Well, they were their own worst enemy there, Colombia. The corner was taken, and 2 of them got in a bit of a tangle just inside the D from the side the corner was taken, on this near side on our camera angle as they attack the left. And they just got all tangled up and ended up conceding a second corner. And it looks as though, to me, the French might do something slightly differently with this one, given the lack of success from the last. And it looks like we're about to get a substitution as well, if the referee is willing to stop play for a moment at this corner. Yes, we will. And the player to come on is Ivan Wanshi.
Colombia. Number 2, Freddy Lopez out. Number 3, Alex Martinez in.
And there's a change as well for the Colombians, with Lopez leaving the field. Alex Martinez will come on to replace him. And now the substitution has been made. A similar looking routine here for the French. A 3-man wall just tucked, as I say, between that box and the D on this near side, protecting that near post for the Colombians deep inside their own half, as the French look for a response. That early goal for Gonzalez yet to be challenged by the French. The Colombians looking to make it 100% start in this competition. Here come the French, though, with other ideas, and number 8 swipes at it straight off the bench. Vanchi there but it comes to nothing. But the goal kick, or goal clearance, is sent upfield, and it's straight back into French hands. Colombians do well, pretty diligent defending, but a bit of a hospital pass back towards the goalkeeper there results in a French corner.
Yeah, number 7 for France done well then. He sort of made good strides through and nearly got a shot away, and it's just intercepted, and the Colombian lads tried to play it back to his keeper, and he got his angles a bit wrong there, and he's put it out for another corner.
Lots of set pieces in this game. Another corner on this near side for the French. We've got 3 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. Maybe a bit of a frustrated attempt at goal there from Niang. It goes into the side netting. It will be a Colombia goal clearance. Juan Hernandez with a really impressive ball upfield. It comes off the kickboard out to the far side. A chance now for Colombia, who are looking really dangerous. Excellent footwork. It was amazing footwork from Juan Perez, and he got the shot away, but the shot didn't really have the power to trouble the goalkeeper out on that far left-hand side. The French look to come forward again, but it trickles out for a Colombia goal kick. And again, it's end-to-end stuff, but that was lovely, mazy footwork from Juan Perez. Just prior to that, you're not missing too much of the action as it keeps going out for goal clearances at the moment. This time it's taken short, though, and the French try a different tactic through Villeroy, who started on this left-hand side. He uses the kickboard, but in doing so gives it straight back to Colombia, because he allowed them really just to place the ball on the pitch there. But a bit of a cynical trip again from the French, and Colombia will have a free kick just inside the French half. Number 10, Juan Perez, will take it.
Yeah, looking at this game, I'm sort of thinking, if I was the French coach, what would I do? And I think at the moment France are trying to enter into a battle with these guys, and based on what we saw against Spain, if they do that, they'll lose. So I think personally they need to get the ball down and start playing it round between them.
Very skillful players out there, but France not utilising them at the moment. It's Colombia that attack now. Over the halfway line they go through their number 3, Martinez. Drill wide in the end, it goes out for a goal clearance, and then it's immediately flung upfield. Really clever clearance from the goalkeeper Bartolomucci. Here come Colombia though. Mazy run down that left-hand side, a shot at goal, and a fine save from Bartolomucci. It was Juan Perez that made the run. He's looking so dynamic. When he's got a bit of space in front of him like that, some of the close touch control is incredibly impressive.
He is really quick, this boy. Against Spain, he was unbelievably fast. And that shot then, left foot shot from a bit of an angle, he's absolutely smashed it. And the keeper's done amazingly well to tip it up and onto the bar. Incredible stuff.
He's got his long hair in a bit of a bun there as the cross comes in from the corner. It could fall to him again. It's well cleared in the end by Villeroy. Still battling down there, Villeroy, and a huge coming in collision between about 4 or 5 different players between the two sides as they try to regather possession in the middle of the park, and it's now back inside the defensive third for Colombia and their number 7, Jean Hernandez. He's tucked right up against the kickboard on this near side, and it's gone out for a goal clearance, which is taken quickly again by Colombia. And guess who they've immediately tried to find? The danger man. And Perez didn't quite get the rub of the green that time, and again the battle ensues in the middle of the park, and it's with the number 8, Vanchy, who's just come on for the French. 1 minute 30 seconds left on the clock. Colombia still with that one goal that took the lead, and that's a lovely bit of skill there from the goal scorer. Could he double his tally? Drags it just wide, a tipped finish. That looked as though it came off the goalkeeper. I'm not sure what the referee's given there.
No, that's a goal clearance. He didn't get near it. Marvellous bit of skill from the Colombian, and he's picked the ball up on the halfway line, gone to go inside, then switched, come back on the outside, and unleashed a really nice shot, but it was a couple of feet wide of the far post.
Here come the Colombians again, out in front of the main stand where the fans are watching on. It's picked up by Villeroy on that far right-hand side. He moves over the halfway line, but he is only met by the back of one of the Colombian players and sort of slumps to the ground as his run comes to an end, and now Colombia are on the attack on the edge of the box, and that's a trip, an accidental one in the end really. Just as their number 3 for the Colombians was about to take his strike, Alex Martinez, he just trips Hakim Orezki in the process, and it will be a defensive free kick.
Yeah, it was a free kick. It was unfortunate. The Colombian, he's thinking the ball's there because he can hear it, and he's taken an almighty swipe at it. When he's done that, the French lad just moved the ball. So he's come into collision with the French lad rather than the ball. So a bit unfortunate.
Just over 30 seconds left on the clock. Not long to go here. Will the French look to try and force one final opportunity for this first half, or they just play it safe at this stage? They've gotten a defensive free kick, as I said, just on the edge of the D. They move out of their defensive third, immediately just remove any involvement in that middle third and go long, but the Colombians have it back in their possession again through their number 9. Jean Gonzalez, he's stopped in his track and is met by a number of French players, and now we're in this sort of melee of bodies on this near side next to the kickboard as one of the players tries to bring it away. It's with number 9 Gonzalez, the goal scorer again, who just plays it square across the box, tries to find his colleague down there, Juan Perez, who maintains control, changes direction, looks for an opening, doing really well in using his physicality. And that's the end of the first half. But he's looked a real menace down there, Juan Perez. He looks so casual and nonchalant in the way he goes about his business with his long shorts and his long swept hair as well. But it's been a good performance from the Colombians. They'll be happy with their advantage. But at times it's been a bit frantic and a bit scrappy, Dixon.
Yeah, there's not much structure to this game at all. As I said earlier in the commentary, France, to me, are playing the wrong tactic. They're sort of entering into a battle with Colombia, and if they do that, they'll lose. I think what they need to do is put the foot on the ball and start passing it round, and try and drag the Colombians into areas where they don't want to go. And at the moment, they're just squaring up to them, and it's becoming a battle, and it's very frantic. And I think we're looking at some of the replays now as they come through. There's some almighty hits on the ball, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm waiting for one of these balls to fly into the gazebo that we're sat in at the end of the pitch down here. We've not been struck as of yet, but France won't be a rollover for the Colombians today. Last year in June they became the new continental champions after defeating Turkey in the International Blind Sports Federation European Championships in Pescara. And the two teams played out a pretty cagey fixture in that one, and they've put up a fight today against the Colombians, who have the title in their sights. Of course, as you say, Dixie, the French have already qualified for the Paralympics as the home nation anyway, but this is about really proving a point today in this competition and really showing the mettle that they're made of if they're to go after a medal next year.
Yeah, well, obviously they want to put in a really good performance in front of their home fans in Paris, and this is probably the last competitive competition that they can enter. It's all very well playing friendlies. The friendlies, friendlies are friendly, isn't it? I mean, not much more you can say about it, really. It's a bit of a non-event. When playing in tournaments like this with a summit on the end of it, the levels go up, quite a bit, to a higher level. So they want to put a good performance in here, and it's been a fast, frenetic opening 15 minutes, and I think if they don't need a rest, I think we do.
Yeah, absolutely. My voice needs a rest. Just as some of the we're just getting pictures actually of the Colombian players being stretched off by some of the subs and taking some vital fluids on board as well from the coaching staff there. But I've been in awe of some of the skills displayed in that first half, particularly from the likes of Jean Gonzalez and Juan Perez. Some of the footwork's been absolutely exceptional. A really interesting game so far. So the score at half-time, the French are 1 goal down to the Colombians. So it's time now to watch a short video and listen to a short video about the rules of blind football, and also a few words as well from IBSA. And we'll be back in a couple of moments' time with the second half of all the action.
It's fast, technical and tense. This is your guide to five-a-side football. There are 5 players per team, 4 outfield players and a goalkeeper. The aim of the sport is to score a goal by kicking the ball into your opponent's goal, and at the end of the game, whoever scored the most wins. Players must wear eye shades to ensure that all players have the same level of vision. That is apart from the goalkeepers, who aren't required to wear eye shades and can be fully sighted. Their job is to keep the ball from going in the goal behind them. But how do the players on the field know where the ball, or indeed the goal, is? Well, the ball in blind football is specially designed to make sound whenever it moves. Also, each team has a guide behind the opposition goal to help direct them. Each player is required to shout "Voy" when going for the ball. This ensures every player has the cues they need to help build a picture of what's going on and what to do next in defence or attack. To help this, total silence is required from the crowd until a goal goes in. Voy is Spanish for go, and it was the Spanish who were credited with originally developing blind football in the 1920s. As well as the Paralympics, teams from all corners of the world can compete at World, European, Asian, African and America's Championships, as well as a World Grand Prix.
Blind football can be played by both men and women, with the historic first Women's World Championships coming up in 2023.
So what are you waiting for? Give it a try.
IBSA, International Blind Sports Federation, presents, with the support of the International Paralympic Committee, IBSA Anti-Doping App, the first application of its kind in the Paralympic movement, specifically designed for blind and visually impaired people. Athletes, coaches, medical staff, managers, and the public in general now have a powerful tool to stay focused on the principles of clean sport. Scrolling down the main menu, you can find all the important themes you need to know to play fair and be alert to testing procedures and necessary adaptations for athletes with visual impairments. IBSA gives top priority to anti-doping control, being the only international federation with 3 sports in the Paralympic family: goalball, football, and judo. IBSA Anti-Doping App has external links, namely to WADA, where our sport agents can always find the most updated information, especially the list of prohibited substances and methods. Glory in sport can only be achieved by the athlete's awareness of their rights and responsibilities. You can find them on the IBSA Anti-Doping App. IBSA is continuously promoting anti-doping education to all its affiliate athletes and sport agents, not only about the consequences of the use of doping and the risk of using supplements. IBSA believes that education is the major tool to fight doping in sport. Informed athletes can make better decisions. Download the app now at the usual operating system stores.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have seen history being made today.
Such a great team at these championships.
IBSA. Beyond sight. Feel the sport.
Welcome back to this titanic clash between Colombia and France. The first time France have taken to the field in the men's World Blind Games here in Edgbaston in the UK, here in Birmingham as well. Group C, this fixture 1-0 at half-time. We've had two fixtures so far today, India, Germany and Austria and Argentina both played out, and those two fixtures goalless draws. We've got a goal finally, and it came from a free kick for the Colombians, who've looked really pacey and really dynamic in this game so far. And the best thing about all of this is there's a snippet of sun as well, which we're now enjoying. We've managed to open the front of the gazebo, and we're watching all the action live as we should, rather than through our monitors as well. France are poised here, all four players, outfield players, poised just either in or around the centre circle, as though they're about to go on the attack straight away. In fact, one of which has just made himself available out on the far right-hand side, away from any Colombian players really noticing. And I wonder whether he's going to make a move down the right flank straight off of kickoff. It's a bit blustery out there, but pretty weighty, these balls, and they're pretty strong, these players. I'm not sure they'll be too phased by any blustery conditions. The French, though, are dispossessed, this time by number 9, Jean Gonzalez. Still going, Jean Gonzalez. He just loses the ball behind him on this near side next to the kickboard. He's using the kickboard well, actually, to just fend off the French player, and passes it back towards his own half, looking for support. But actually, Villaroo is the man that comes away with the ball. Can't quite wrong foot Gonzalez, though, who wins back possession. But Villaroo, not one to give up a fight, wins the ball back in the centre circle and swivels and uses his pace to move away from the Colombian player. Such fast-paced start again to this second half. Here's number 9, Jean Gonzalez, back and retreats back to his own half and just tries a chip pass into a dangerous area just on the edge of the box. He finds his intended target in number 10, Juan Perez. Juan Perez can't quite pull the shot, and it ends up being cleared by the French all the way up the other end of the field. Goal clearance is taken quickly as far as number 7, Jean Hernandez, makes his way all the way up the other end of the field, and it's going to be a goal clearance for the French this time, and it's swung out towards the far side in front of the main stand, and Niang is the man to try and swivel away from a Colombia player, to no avail initially, but it finds its way to Villaroo, who switches play inside and just turns away from his marker. That's an excellent tackle, though, you have to say, from Alex Martinez to stop Villaroo in his tracks, and Villaroo wanted to make up for his earlier error. Not quite sure what happened off the ball there. The referee's just having a talking to between Alex Martinez and Villaroo. It looked as though Martinez just kicked out a touch, maybe in frustration. Referee, I'm not sure, spotted it. We are going to see a corner ball here for the Colombians.
Yeah, it looked to me if Villaroo, when they went down, he threw an arm up a little bit, and I think the Colombian responded in kind. And the referee just tried to calm them all down a little bit. But the match is, the second half has started as much as the first half. It's very fast and frenetic, and yeah, there's not much of a pattern. It's going from end to end, and as I said before, the French need to get a foot on the ball and start playing their football. They haven't at the moment. We've got a bit of a delay here while the referee has a word with one of the Colombians, but everything's okay and we're ready to go.
Well, the Colombians will have the corner there in front of the main stand, out on that far side. It's taken short. The two danger men combining, Gonzalez and Perez. Chance still for Gonzalez right in front of goal, but he's tackled by a player in a white shirt for the French. He may beat the Colombians in terms of height and stature, but the Colombians have the one goal advantage, and they're nippy, frenetic, energetic players themselves, the South Americans. They have the advantage, and they have another corner, this time in front of the area that holds all of the coaching staff, the technical assistants, and the production team that is putting on today's coverage of this game as well. And the corner will be taken. The referee's whistle does blow, but the pass is a rolled pass which finds its way all the way through to Jean Hernandez. Still going Jean Hernandez. He's gone from left as we see it to right, and a sliding attempt at keeping the ball in play is really successful by Juan Perez. This could fall really kindly for a Colombian player. Jean Gonzalez is just slightly wrong-footed and eventually squirms his way through the French defence, but can't keep the ball in play, and it will be a goal clearance, which the French take quickly. Here's Villeroy. He wants to find a way back into this game, and he's taken matters into his own hands, but he's forced wide in front of the main stand up against the kickboard. Checks back inside, but only meets a Colombian player, and now the Colombians will break through their number 9, Jean Gonzalez. He's tackled though, and his run is in vain. Number 7, Babacar Niang, is the man to bring the ball away for the French, and he tries to combine with Tidiane Diakite. Diakite is stopped in his tracks, and the Colombians clear their lines. A looping clearance forward from the French, and almost a chance for their number 11, Diakite, who seems to just be staying further up the pitch for those attacking goal clearances from the French.
Yeah, at the moment, if France are going to get back into this game, it looks like it's going to come through Villeroy. He's the one who's pressurising. Oh, we got a bit of a ruckus going on there, and there's words being exchanged with Frederic and a Colombian player. He's not happy. It's all getting a bit heated there. Oh my word! Did he push him in the face there? I think the referee's going to get a card out.
Looks as though the card, yes, it has been brandished. Villeroy has received a yellow card. That was really silly stuff there from the French captain as well, who should be setting the example. Juan Perez is the man down on the floor. It's right on the centre spot, in fact. The two had an initial coming together, and Juan Perez and Villeroy exchanged a few words, and then there was a second coming together thereafter. The yellow card came out, and Villeroy is now in discussion with the referee. Not quite sure what has been decided here.
No, it's definitely going to be a free kick to Colombia. I think it was all the afters that the officials weren't particularly impressed with. Villeroy was sort of leant over the top of the Colombian player, and you could see that there was verbals going on. We can't hear what was being said, but obviously it was stretched a little bit too far, and the referees decided to book him.
Well, the afters from Villeroy means he receives a yellow card. It was a free kick for Colombia, but he's not shying away from challenges, Villeroy, since that yellow card. The French are forced further back into their own half, but win the free kick. It's deep inside their own half, inside their defensive third, tucked up against the kickboard that separates the pitch and the coaching staff.
Yeah, there's a trip by the Colombian there. The referees need really going to get on top of this game, as it could run away from them. They're doing a good job at the moment, but they need to keep on top of it.
French fullback there, just utilising the kickboard to try and thread the ball through to Diakite, who's the player furthest forward as an attacker. That's good defensive work, and really good improvisation shown by the French defender there to get down on his knees and block the ball coming through from a Colombian. It's all being played at the moment in the middle centre circle as one of the attacking sides tries to take a foothold in the game. It's the French that come forward again through Niang, just in front of us in our makeshift gazebo down here. Still the French come looking for an equaliser. Colombia living dangerously. Big collision between the number 7 Hernandez down there and Diakite instead. Not too many substitutions in this game. Both sides happy with the way they're playing at the moment. Chance though for the Colombians. Gonzalez goes to ground. Is there enough for a free kick there? No, a waggle of the finger from the referee and a few words exchanged between the referee and Gonzalez as well. I think Gonzalez felt as though he should have had the free kick.
Yeah, I think he threw himself to the ground there hoping for the free kick. In my book, I'm looking straight at it and the referee was spot on. There was not a touch there. He's just chucked himself down to the floor. There was no need to. He was in a good position.
It's glorious here now. The sun is shining. I'm going to have to put some sun cream on before the next game, I think. Plenty of time. Of course, no fixture for Mali coming up and Spain. That is a bye. Spain will take the 6-goal win. But it's much nicer weather, just as we see a helicopter going overhead. Somebody wants VIP seats to the action here at the IBSA Games. The men's football, the blind football, as we watch it. Third game of the day. 2 goalless draws so far we've seen. First of all between India and Germany, then between Austria and Argentina. Austria didn't go through to the semi-finals, but celebrated. They were delighted with their goalless draw against Argentina, and rightly so, as they were in scintillating form earlier on in the competition. But it's now the men's football that our attention turns to, and a chance for Villeroy as he moved into the edge of the D there up against the Colombians. For context, we're here on a pitch just to the side of the sports campus at the University of Birmingham, a 4G pitch with the main stand looking over us, and more and more people are filling the main stand now as the weather improves. A chance for the French. Will they see more goals in this game with just over 9 minutes left on the clock? The ball is just in front of us, right inside the Colombian half. It's kept in play by the Colombians and is sent upfield by Hernandez, who's been so involved in the action so far in this game. Now Juan Perez has a chance, moves to the edge of the D. Bit of a trip in there on the edge of the D. Referee says play on again. A pile of players building up, mainly consisting of the French as they defend their goal. The French bring it away. Lovely skill, such pace shown as well by Niang, and there's a chance on goal. And Villeroy, who just picked up a booking, drags it just wide, but that was probably the best chance of the half for the French.
What a chance he had then, Villeroy. He's 5 yards out from goal, right in the middle, no Colombian near him. He's turned, all he's got to do is get it between the sticks, and he's put it wide. The guide must be going mental. How often do they work to get the player into that position? And Villeroy, he's been playing for 20 years. He's got to make the keeper work from there.
Well, there's been plenty of talking points in this game, just as we have a stoppage. Babacar Niang and that sort of pile up of players before Villeroy made the break. Just on the edge of their own D, the French received a bit of a knock to the head. He's back on his feet, which is good to see. Seems fit and well to continue. But Villeroy has been so involved in the action so far. Now a chance for the Colombians down the other end, but they don't trouble the goalkeeper. It is truly end-to-end stuff. Now Villeroy again. He's been so involved so far. Just as our paperwork goes flying all over the place here in the gazebo. His chance goes a-begging, but that's a bit sloppy from the Colombians there. The number 9, Jean Gonzalez, just played the ball as he tried to send it back to his goalkeeper. The guide and Himmick behind the goal just exchange a few words. And there's a chance now for the French from this corner. What can they do here? Will this be a rehearsed move? Villeroy makes his way to the edge of the D, just nudges one of the Colombian players, just reminds them he's still very much part of this battle here.
Oh yeah, there's plenty going on out there.
No love lost. Back it goes to Villeroy, but it's in timely fashion sent away by one of the Colombian players. And then there's 2 big collisions in the middle of the park as 2 players almost get in each other's way as they go chasing after that ball. It does go out for a French goal kick, but my word, the battles are flying in all over the place, and whoever's in charge of the clock as well has got their work cut out, because we've seen lots of stoppages just as Villeroy shoots again, this time from the centre of the goal as we see it. Took a bit of a deflection, just took the pace off the ball. Another chance though for the French. And Diakite is met by a Colombian player, and that'll be a Colombian goal clearance, which is taken quickly once more by our Dia. Up to Gonzalez. He's tucked up against the kickboard on the near side, near the coaching staff, who no doubt in the middle third will be delivering some important messages. Ardia takes the clearance quickly, trickles all the way through to Jean Gonzalez. Jean Gonzalez keeps the ball in place, still going. Gonzalez tries to find some space right on the edge of the box. The goalkeeper crucially manages to clutch onto the ball. The referee has blown his whistle, time has been paused. What has he seen here that he doesn't like?
Yeah, the ball's the paperwork's going all over the place here. The ball's got stuck under the French defender's leg, and it was just outside the box, and the keeper's always hovering. He wants to pick it up and he can't, and so I think we're going to start with a drop ball against the boards. It will be contested.
Villeroy, I think, is just having his head guard or his eye guard just checked by the referee, and will be guided to the left-hand side as well.
Yeah, they're just gonna repatch him. His patches of these guys underneath him to make it a level playing field. The first level they've got iPads on their eyes. Then those iPads are taped down with 3 tapes on each eye. Then like a ski mask is placed on the top, which is a blank tape ski mask. So if anyone's got any light perception or anything, it totally blanks it all out, and so we get a level playing field. So obviously some of his tape work has just come off a little bit, and the referees quite rightly has stopped it, because you want a level playing field and you want everyone to be playing the game in the same condition. So they're just checking it. They all seem happy now, and we're about to get going again.
7 minutes and 17 seconds for the French to try and find an equaliser. They probably want to get this campaign off to a positive start with some sort of points. Of course, they've got their walkover from the game that should have taken place between them and Mali, so it could all come down to the big crunch match as it stands between Spain and the French, which will be a fascinating affair. That's fair play from the French there.
It's nice to see, isn't it? All those battles going on there, but they still are air of sportsmanship about it.
The players are really spread out across the pitch now, and it's with a Colombian player sent long and is almost collected by the number 10, Juan Perez, but just trickles past his leg and goes out for a French goal clearance. Now the French will attack. Villeroy in there battling alongside Diakite. We get some consistent play here. Arezki just sends the ball forward, a really hopeful pass up towards Villeroy. And if Villeroy could have brought that under control, he would have been right tucked on the edge of the box of the Colombian penalty area, and he could have maybe tried to poke that beyond the goalkeeper. But now it's Colombia that are at the other end following a long goal clearance. We're just on the edge of the French defensive third as they try to clear their lines and get a bit further upfield. Up they go over the halfway line. The ball is now in the Colombian defensive third, but it's them that bring the ball away. And then there's a collision between Gonzalez and the number 11, Diakite, who's on more defensive duty now, but he seems to be really just sort of pinning himself to the kickboard on the right-hand side, used as more of an auxiliary winger down the right. Here's Villeroy out on the left, though, in front of that main stand, and there's plenty more onlookers now, and a French flag over in the main stand as well, which is great to see. Some travelling supporters here to watch their side put in a real shift ahead of the Paralympics next year, for which they, of course, already qualified as the host nation. Up against the kickboard on that far left-hand side, we've had some real consistent play now. Juan Perez brings the ball into the middle of the pitch, right in front of goal, just on the edge of the attacking third for the Colombians. It's spread out to that left-hand side, and some space now for Juan Gonzalez, and a bluster of wind almost takes our monitor away, as well as the table and the gazebo with it. But we're still intact here as we try and commentate on the main moments from this big fixture between France and Colombia. It's just
it's a corner.
Trickled back out for a corner for the French, and they've just over 5 minutes now to turn this game on its head.
If it's going to come from anywhere, it's going to come from Villeroy. He seems to be the one, the liveliest French player. He's in and around the box majority of the time. His defensive duties have been sacrificed for his attacking prowess, and if they're going to get a goal out, you can see it coming through him.
Babacar Niang stands over this corner. He's just been supported now by Diakite. The Colombians, though, are poised. They want to keep this slender advantage intact. Here's Niang. Tries to get past the number 3, Alex Martinez, who's one of the rare substitutes we've seen in this game so far. Brought away really well and robustly by the Colombians, but it's straight back into French hands. One of the eye masks has just come off, and it is Alex Martinez that's just sat on his haunches.
The referee's given a foul there, and the Colombian number 3 didn't say voy when he went in for the tackle. It's an international word Spanish word for I go, and if you're going in to tackle someone, you have to say voy about 1 metre to 2 metres away, and he clearly didn't say that, and hence a collision. We've got a free kick to France, 2 or 3 metres into the Colombian half, very central.
Here come the French. The free kick was taken short, but that's a powerful pass forward and will evade everybody. Unfortunately, Diakite couldn't get onto the end of that. And it sounds as though, from that noise, as though we're going to have a timeout.
Yeah, timeout to Colombia.
And you mentioned the voy there, Dixie. Oh, there's a bit of a coming together in the middle of the park, just off screen there. I've noticed a bit of pushing and shoving between Juan Perez and Villeroy. And Villeroy's got to be careful. A few words exchanged. I'm sure the referees noticed that one. You mentioned the voy rule there. Can you also be penalised for falsely calling voy too often?
If it's if you were shouting and screaming it all the time, it would be ungentlemanly conduct, and the referees would have a word to start with and say you're excessively saying it, and then they would probably book him. You know, to be honest, it doesn't happen very often, and I've never seen it happen in a game. So if you're going, as I say, if you're going in to tackle someone who's got the ball, you've got to let them know you're there. You know, it's not only to give them give them a chance to change their direction, but it's for safety. You know, because if you go headlong into someone and you're not telling them that you're coming in, they can't protect themselves or anything. So it is vitally important that they give that signal to say, I'm here, go round me, not through me.
It's great to have you with us throughout this week and into next week, Dixie. So your long association working in blind sports as well. And as I say, we've not had too many substitutions in this game, and same 2 sets of players continue now as the ball is launched long from the Colombians. It was their number 7, Jean Hernandez. This could find its way through to Villeroy. Villeroy in possession. Those pink fluorescent boots aren't doing the job for him so far. He dragged a shot wide a few moments ago. And he was through on goal. He's picked up a yellow card. He's got to be careful. There's been a bit of pushing and shoving as well. And now the French have a goal kick with 4:23 left on the clock in the second half between France and Colombia. Colombia have the advantage through Jean Gonzalez. Goal that came from a free kick. And here is Juan Perez, whose footwork has impressed everybody at the ground today. Now Gonzalez just shrugs off a player. Could be a second chance off the woodwork from Gonzalez. Again, it's that sort of tapping back and forth footwork that just found himself in some space. He left the French players for dust, checked onto his right foot and struck the woodwork, but Villeroy fancies a similar opportunity for himself. He's still going here. Can he unleash the shot? Still going, Villeroy! And he finds the net, and what a fabulous goal that was. Mbappe-esque.
Oh my word, what a goal by Villeroy. It's unbelievable. He's got, I've got to watch the replay. I can't remember where he picked the ball up from. Seemed to have it for ages. Turning this way and that way. We'll just watch a replay together and just marvel at this.
Anything Juan Perez could do at one end of the pitch, Villeroy felt as though he could do better, and it starts literally from the defensive third. So you're a French player, moves up over the halfway line, twists towards the left, then towards the right, back on his right foot, then onto his left foot, and he just unleashes a wild shot. The goalkeeper could do nothing, completely wrong-footed, down the middle of the goal, into the roof of the net. And now this makes for a fascinating final 3 minutes and 36 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see a much better bit of play than that. Absolutely fantastic by Villeroy, and he may have been around for 20 years, but he's obviously still got it.
Here come the French again, through that man, Villeroy. Still going, still battling so hard, and he wants a second goal, he wants the win. This will put the French in a strong position if they can at least hold on to this scoreline as it stands for their fixture against Spain. They'll then just have to avoid defeat. Players falling around all over the place as we hit the 3 minutes remaining mark. The French just backed up against the kickboard in front of the main stand. the Colombians want this winner. Gonzalez goes to ground. The ball is sort of left for a moment, and then there's a coming together between French players. Villaroo back there supporting his defenders. And the goalkeeper just watches that roll across the edge of his box. Of course, he can't touch the ball, and we've just lost an eye mask as well from Villaroo. I think it's Villaroo. No, it's somebody else. It's one of the Colombian players. It was number 10, Juan Perez, and that will be readjusted. The clock goes off with 2:37 remaining.
And breathe. This is frenetic stuff here at Birmingham. Yeah, great advert for the sport, and yeah, you can't say blind football's boring, I tell you. So much going on here. The referee's going to restart with a bounce ball, and the referee just dropped the ball in front of it, and he's nearly got taken out by a French guy because the French guy thought we were restarting. Oh my! He did. Just nearly drove his foot straight through the referee. Oh, that would have been so funny.
The referee picks the ball back up, just gives it a shake in front of the two players. We'll have that drop ball now, and they ricochet into each other. Juan Perez and Villaroo, who've been at each other all afternoon. Both sides now looking for a winner, and this will be end-to-end for the remaining 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Villaroo with a big challenge there on number 3 Martinez. Villaroo trying to drive his French players forward as we move into the Colombia half, but it's in Colombia hands through their number 7, Juan Hernandez. There's a big collision there, and the Colombians get the free kick.
No voy again. There's no voy from the French 7.
The referee cuts a bit of a frustrated figure there. He just pulled away and just put his arms up in the air as though the instructions that he's trying to give aren't really getting through to the players. Maybe he needs some support from the coaching staff. You mentioned, Dixie, it being an advocate of this format of football. It really is. I mean, you've watched some terrible games of the sort of football we see week in, week out in the Premier League and the Championship and so on and so forth. And this has been exhilarating.
I tell you, some of those Premier League players ought to come and watch this and see what other people, how they put their bodies on the lines. You see them, you know, a Premier player who gets touched on the back and he's rolling around, and these guys, there's none of that.
Could we see a winner here? Juan Perez, the man to make the advance, but it goes out for a goal clearance for the French. Overarm clearance from the French goalkeeper, only hands it back to Colombia, who move into an attacking third. It's blocked off by a French player, but will be a corner. Number 11 for the French. Diakite back on defensive duty is the man to put it behind, with 1:49 now on the clock. The Colombians look more likely to grab a late winner in this game.
Yeah, this obviously a point's good enough for Colombia. I think that would probably put them through to the final. But if they can get a winner, that definitely makes sure of it.
Shot from range, not far off as well from Juan Perez. It all happened in the blink of an eye from the corner. Just 4 seconds between the corner being taken and the shot being put behind for a goal kick just there. The ball is, though, back in play and sent upfield. Will be a goal clearance, though, for the Colombians. Back and forth this game, and players literally running from end to end now to help their team both defensively and offensively. That's a big collision out by the kickboard in front of the main stand, and the Colombians will have a free kick.
Yeah, it's a bit rash by the French guy there. It was thou shalt not pass, and the Colombians gone up in the air. We said we're going to restart with a free kick. The foul count still, that's 3-2, no 3-1, so we're not in danger of getting penalties here, I don't think.
Well, the rain may have gone, but the wind has picked up, and the players are having to deal with that challenge now as well, with the ball moving around and running into the wind, of course, as well. The French just tackling there, trying to keep the ball and get the ball out of their defensive third, and there's a good run initially from Diakite down that right-hand side, but it's stopped by the Colombians. Juan Perez, the man battling the most. These players really having to dig deep now. Villaroo looks to bring the ball over the halfway line. He goes careering into the kickboard, and now there's a chance for Jean Gonzalez. Jean Gonzalez is brought to ground. Referee says no penalty. play can continue. The French will come out to this near side. That was a big call from the referee. By my eyes, that looked like a penalty, if you ask me, because none of the French players actually got the ball.
No, it could have easily been given, let's put it like that.
Late chance here for the Colombians, swiveling shots, and frustration from the guide behind the ball because they were unchallenged there. The goalkeeper had a clear sight of the ball and just launched the ball down the other end. But it's gone out on the full, so it will be a free kick for the Colombians.
Doesn't that frustrate you? The keeper has got all the time in the world to throw the ball out. He's got 17 seconds long, and what's he do? Throw it right over the halfway line, gives the possession back to Colombia. Oh my word, who'd be a coach?
17.4 seconds left on the clock. The Colombians have the ball on the halfway line. They'll be aware of the time. Do they just have a shot at goal? Still going here, number 9, John Gonzalez, into the D, still going. But eventually the French prevail and bring it upfield. Villaroo looking to make one last dance over the halfway line. And there is the timer. And we can all take a deep breath, collect our thoughts after that one. I'm sure there'll be handshakes and hugs all around between two sets of players that have made it a really feisty affair. The goal in the first half coming from Gonzalez from the free kick. And then Villaroo, you have to say, he's been involved in absolutely everything. He's on his back over inside his own half with his pink boots there laid out. He's absolutely exhausted. He's had chances, he's picked up a yellow card, he had an absolute sitter that we thought he should have scored, and then he pieces together a piece of absolute magic to find the equaliser in the second half there, and the French have a valuable draw, and that all but seals a Colombian passage through to the semi-finals as well, which is fantastic for them.
Yeah, I would think that will do them. Beating Spain 3-0 in the opening game. We just looking at the free kick again from Colombia. Yeah, it's a great goal. He's really hit it hard, and he's giving the keeper no chance really. A couple of French efforts sailed past the post.
It's been the first chance for me, Dixie, really to see the men's side of the game up close, and it's been a bit of a shock to the system in some ways, just quite the pace and the end-to-end nature of it. Of course, this game has actually gone on a bit longer than maybe the two women's games did a bit earlier on, because we, I guess, saw so much powerful shooting and stuff that we saw a lot of corners in this particular fixture, and the two goals as well slowed things down a touch as well. But some magical footwork as we're seeing here from Juan Perez to force an opening there, couldn't quite find the connection on the shot, and then we saw Alex Martinez come off the bench and really put in a big shift for the Colombians. That was a change that was made fairly early on, and actually the two teams that really started the game were the ones to finish it as well. Neither set of coaching staff really calling on the bench a great deal, and a lovely swivel there from Jean Gonzalez, took it from inside his own half, wrong footing French players left, right and centre. I thought the goalkeeper got a touch there as the ball changed direction, but the goalkeeper received a goal clearance in the end. You'll want to, I'm sure, see a replay of that. But it's been some mesmerising footwork. Yeah,
the guys back at the studio putting this package together of all the chances and the incidents, they've done really well. I think there's been so many, they could have replayed the whole game.
Absolutely, there's been a bit of hostility between the two sides at different points, but that just comes from competitiveness and the willingness to win as well. We're seeing a few Colombian chances in the second half that went begging in the end. Here's another one here. Martinez moving into the attacking third for the Colombians. No need for the goalkeeper to make a save there. But certainly the two bright sparks for the Colombians were Juan Perez and Jean Gonzalez. Another chance, and that was the one off the woodwork as well for Gonzalez, which really could have settled the game at that point. But for Villaroo, and we'll see the replay of his goal in a moment's time, I am sure. I think it comes from here, just inside the defensive third now, moves into the middle third, takes two Colombian players out the game, then his pace moves him away from Gonzalez, then he takes Gonzalez, Perez and Lopez out of the game, swivels back onto his left foot and drives into the middle of the goal. And probably one of the best goals you've seen, I'm sure, in this format of the game.
I'll tell you something, that is some goal. That is some goal, and I think that will be shown around the world many times, and he's a fine player, and we did say at the start, if France were going to get back into the game, he was the most likely player to do it, and he's done it with some aplomb there, I'll tell you.
Certainly has. We're getting every angle of it as well from the production team that are supporting this game. Just in case you missed it one final time, I'm sure he just swivels there onto his right. Then you thought he was going to strike the shot back onto his left and just drills home. No prisoners taken there, and nothing Ardea could do in the goal there. Just a few more replays from later on in the game as well. Another shot on goal from Perez there. And then Gonzalez as well, swivelling and shooting. Some really dangerous attacking players. And no wonder the Colombians put 3 past the Spanish earlier on in the week. And some, maybe a few forlorn-looking figures as well, because they wanted to win, the Colombians. But that should almost seal their place, I'm sure, in the next round. He may have to call upon some of his substitutes in the next round as well, because there'll be some tired legs.
Yeah, they've worked really hard again. But they're just doing their cool down and the debrief just in front of us. There's lots of smiles, and I think they're fairly happy. There's lots of interesting hairstyles as well. But perhaps we'll see that in the semi-final, in the number 6.
Yeah, so I hope you get to see Jesus Lopez's haircut in the next round. But here's just a reminder of the games we've got coming up. As we mentioned, a walkover or a bye, however you like to call it, for Spain against Mali, which was due to kick off at 2:30. So we'll have a bit of a break now. And then at 4:30, the Mexicans take on Iran in Group D. And then the other game from Group D sees Morocco face Brazil at 6:30. So wherever you are watching around the world, we hope you're enjoying our coverage today. It's been an exhilarating morning, early afternoon as well. A couple of goals in that French game against the Colombians. A fascinating encounter, some thrilling goals from Edgbaston. The rain is gone, for now at least. We're going to enjoy a break. Hopefully you grab some lunch and you'll be back with us in a couple of hours' time. Bye for now.